Well, hello, boys and girls, and welcome to another episode of Night Night with Phee. Looking forward to seeing you guys for the rest of the week. Had a great time last night. We had an interesting day today. You know, one of these days I tell them if we celebrate good days and we endure the bad. And so today we just continue to have a problem after problem after problem. So I'm thankful that we endured it. I'm back with a good attitude, a lot of energy, a lot of effort tonight. As we go into another episode of Night Night with Phee, I'd like to talk to you about the psychology of Pheeology. That's right, the psychology of Pheeology. I am the Pheeologist, Phee Smee. And one thing about Pheeology is it's based on one of my mentors when I was in my 20s. I had some wireless communications license. I had 3 billionaires as investors of mine, and one of them was a local man named Roland Borum. And Mr. Borum, he was a big philanthropist in Clarksville, Arkansas with the University of the Ozarks. You see the library named after him at UAFS. Also, the hospital emergency room is named after him. He believed in giving back, and he wrote a book called The Three-Legged Stool, and he signed it to me and gave me one of his first copies. I walked into his office. It took me a while to get past the secretary when I was young, and so when I did, it was the eve before his fantasy football draft, and he had come in last the year before and was very unhappy. And that gave me an opportunity to say, well, I have won my fantasy football league several times and would be glad to help you. And our relationship started over a common interest of fantasy football. And he was a weatherman, graduated from UCLA as a meteorologist, and ended up being the CEO of one of the largest motor companies in North America. Has since been bought out by ABB, I believe is a German company. But he wrote the book Three-Legged Stool. So I based my Pheeology on a three-legged stool: life and relationships skills, business deals, and sports drills. Those are the three-legged stools, or the three-legged stool that you can see in the coaching of Pheeology. So what is the psychology of Pheeology? We try to bring the human relationships, the emotional intelligence to the room. We try to explain how the opposite sex, men and women, boys and girls, are different. They look for different things, and if you understand those type of things, you can be successful in your dating life or your marriage or in relationships and in life. So I try to teach life skills. And in business deals, I've been blessed to always be a decent salesman. I've led several companies in sales and in areas and regions and been one of the tops in the United States. So as a very young 21, 22-year-old, I got into satellite uplinks. I got into wireless communications. I got into the video business and the insurance, the investment business. And I just love business. I grew up, my mother and father owned a women's clothing store. So I tell people I grew up around bras and panties. I know all the sizes. I used to write orders when I was 4 years old all the way up to when I was 17, 18 years old. One of the things I loved best was to go to the Great Hall in Dallas and watch the beautiful models from Rome and Milan and Paris and New York showcase all of the latest fashions. So I'm a fashion guy, but I'm right out of the hood. So if you know Scarface, you see that movie with a lot of black and gold and red and purple, and I just, those are my colors, a deep green and emerald. If you think of rubies and emerald and gold, I just, I like that. I like the colors of royalty. Life skills, business deals, and then I've had some success in the last 25 years with sports drills. I've been able to send 35 young people to play college sports. Some have gone on to play professionally in Europe and the United States. I've had Gatorade Players of the Years. I've had Max Prep Players of the Years. I've had McDonald's High School All-Americans. So I've enjoyed the sports drills part of it. It's all repetition. And the psychology of Pheeology is wrapping those three legs, the life skills, the business deals, and the sports drills, into one. And that's what my Lord gave me an opportunity. He gave me gifts I didn't earn when I was a kid. I can't hammer a nail, and I'm not very good at doing things that normal folks can change a tire, and it's just put up a fence, just fix something. You folks are just like handymans, and a yard guy. That's not me, but I can make 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 = 1, and I'd never had to do a lot of math problems. I just was able to see it, and so I'm thankful and blessed, and it's been very helpful to me in trying to eliminate a lot of these diseases that I started back in 2022 when I was diagnosed terminally ill and not expected to live through the night and no way to live 30 days. And here it is, 2025, 3 years later, and I'm feeling really good. I have a lot of energy. I'm working really hard. We're trying to get this off the ground, and we've got to get into phase 2. We've got to get the pickleball court built. I've got to do a lot of medical and legal type of things in order to get all of these treatments and protocols out. And I don't know if I'll be able to do it with the FDA. They are very corrupt. 75% of their employees are from Big Pharma. But I've got some other ideas, and we'll move along with that. So, coaching Pheeology involves all aspects of your life. You have to make a living. You may as well be good at it. And I'm thankful to know my children, or whatever they choose to do, they're going to be very successful at it because they understand how to work. They understand how to win. I tried to create a culture of winning. I do not like a culture of losing. I'm addicted to winning, and I'm coaching the winning team right now because my Lord and Savior is coming back, and He will defeat Satan, and we will win and inherit the kingdom of God if you're a child of God. And as far as your life skills, everybody feels lonely. Everybody feels disconnected. Everybody's dealing with these phones, and they're dealing with therapists and psychiatrists and medicine to make them feel different. And 25% of housewives are on daily antidepressant medicines. And what you don't know is you're not designed to stay on those medicines long term. You can't take the same medicine over and over and over, year after year after year, and expect that it's not going to affect other systems and organs, hormones, enzymes in your body. So we need to try to eliminate a lot of those. I'm not anti-medicine. I'm not anti-doctor, but about 93% of those doctors are nothing more than pharmaceutical sales reps in white coats, and I do not like them. They're not very bright. They're only 3 up from the dadgum patient. You've got the patient, and then you've got the nurse, and then you've got the nurse practitioner, and then you've got the doctor. They make no decisions whatsoever on treatments. That's based on healthcare systems and insurance companies. So I'm not a big fan of about 93% of them, but this other 7%, you couldn't live without them. They're phenomenal doctors. They spend their heart and their soul, their time, their energy, their money in doing everything they can to help their patients. It means something to them. That's a winner. That's a winning culture. So when you look at the psychology of Pheeology, you're looking at high energy, high effort, a winning culture in 3 aspects of life. And those 3 aspects are life skills, business deals, and sports drills. So as we go through these questions tonight, thank you for joining. I want you to hit the subscribe button. I want you to like it, the show. If you're listening or watching, you can comment in the comments. Jessica says, I wish I could get off all my medications, honestly. Yes, Jessica, I understand that, and certainly would like to be able. I am off all my medications and have been for several years, but I do take my own what I would call supplements. So, and we can go through. You guys already know it if you've been watching Terminally Ill. You know that I'm a big algae tablets. I believe that is the way to cure world hunger. Chlorella and spirulina, the blue-green algae, definitely gives you the proteins. if the food chain is interrupted and the grid is interrupted, and you're not going to be consumers anymore, you're going to have to be self-sufficient and producers, then you need to have this algae tablets. You can feed them to your dogs, you can feed them to your babies, but they will give you the nutrients and the proteins. Even if you don't change your diet, you're getting no nutrients in your diet. So if you're not going to change your diet, and most of you won't, then you definitely need to take the algae tablets to get that nutrients for your body. So we will start tonight with questions. Our questions, I'm loving them. I've had a couple of them that I'm not going to be able to read. I mean, they just continue to get more and more risque, but, you know, I have to draw a line somewhere. I try to do these sexual topics in a clinical standpoint and try my best to not offend people, or if there's young children listening that, you know, that I've tried to not let anybody under the age of 15, but again, you can only type it in and whoever's watching is watching. But if I told you 12, which is what I really believe should be, you wouldn't agree with me. But again, I think most of the parents have forgotten the way they acted when they were teenagers and what they thought about. And I think a lot of times when you disconnect that, or you live vicariously through your kids and want them to be better or act differently, sometimes you run into trouble. So it's good to communicate and be able to talk. And it's, you know, I always said I wanted 4 boys because you didn't want to have that talk. But I had 2 girls, and we had a great time visiting and talking about anything and everything. And that's the way I've always been with folks. And I guess it's because I grew up around bras and panties. I don't have a problem showing a feminine side like a lot of you folks do. But let's get into the questions tonight. Phee Smee, how are you feeling? I pray that you continue to do well. I would like your opinion on Emmanuel Macron, Elon Musk, and Donald Trump as candidates for the Antichrist. Billy from Worcester, Oklahoma. You know, Billy, I do not like to even play in that sandbox. That's what these prophecy teachers and things that I know nothing about. Before I had that vision on June the 24th, I can tell you that I would have never. I'd read the Bible several times. I thought we'd be raptured out, so I wasn't the least bit concerned about the tribulation, what the lampshades and all the dadgum different symbolism and stuff and revelations were. But my Lord showed me and gave me an opportunity to live to talk to you about it. So I'm going to do it through the Word of God, and we'll see if we can't determine. You know, last night I had a question about the 4 thunders, and I told them those are one of the 4 mysteries that are big mysteries of God. I'm sure there's, you know, thousands of them, but there's definitely 4, and you know, the date and the time that the Lord comes back, and the mysteries of the 7 thunders, which I gave my opinion early on that when I read it, I thought it might be the 7 continents, but as I went on, and the angel said to seal it up, then it talks about the 7 spirits of God. I leave it alone. I don't want to make any type of prediction because the angel told him to seal it up, that it was a mystery of God. So that's one, and the date and the time. Who the Antichrist is another one. So a lot of people say that, you know, it's going to be Donald Trump, or your Macron is the leader in the clubhouse right now, and therefore, I would probably just go ahead and discount him. Elon Musk, I'd have to know his genealogy because I know where the Antichrist is going to come out of. And so if he's from America or South Africa or wherever his ancestors are from, that would tell me. But I don't think he's a prime candidate anyway. But no one knows who's going to be the Antichrist until he stands in that rebuilt third temple and declares himself as God after throwing fire down from heaven. So when that happens, you'll know. Until then, it's just speculation. But if you want to try to if you like puzzles and you want to try to look at them as a couple of pieces of the puzzle, I will give you that, and that's in Daniel 8:23. And I love Daniel, and we did our first podcast on one of them I think it was the second one on Daniel chapter 7. Well, this is Daniel chapter 8. And I don't like to read one verse. I like to be able to read the whole chapter for context. But for this question, I'm going to read just the verses, and then we'll talk about the rest of the chapter. And you're welcome to go back and read Daniel chapter 8. But Daniel chapter 8:23 said, "And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding, dark sentences shall stand up, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power, that he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand." That's Daniel 23 talking about the Antichrist in the future. What does he say in 23? He says he'll rise up in the latter time. That's now. That's the end of times. And when he says that their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, you're talking about an Antichrist that's going to come under the veil of peace. He's going to become dominant in the world in leadership. He's going to be very smooth, suave. He's going to speak very eloquently, and he's going to have a mastermind for evil. That's pretty salty. So he's going to look one way, he's going to act one way, but he's going to have a mind that's absolutely brilliant in evil things and schemes. So that Antichrist that everybody thinks is Emmanuel Macron or Donald Trump, why do they think he's Donald Trump? Well, because he's making all these peace deals and he's making all these business deals, and they see him as a world leader. So that's why. Donald Trump's not the Antichrist. So you put that rumor to bed. I would tell you that Elon Musk is not the Antichrist. And I would tell you that everybody and their brother, the odds are heavy favorite on Macron, which just tells me most folks are just wrong. They don't build those casinos in Vegas because they losers. The Phee bird and the house tend to do okay. The rest of them, they tend to pay to play with Phee. Kind of like I do when I play golf, I play golf with the best golfers around, but it costs me $1 a hole, see. But I'm just glad to be there. I'm learning the game. They've played for years. I've played for 2. They have no idea. I'm going to get them one of these days, but not today. So when you look at the Antichrist and you look at Daniel 23, now I will go and read Revelations 13:2 also to you. Again, another description from the Old Testament to the New Testament, which I like to do because you prophecy teachers tend to have a problem with Old Testament prophets, which I don't understand, but I don't know your business. I'm learning it, and most of you have lost your mind. 13:2, "And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him power, and his seat, and his great authority." Now that is a vision that John is having that Daniel had in chapter 7, where there were 4 individual beasts. Now John sees in Revelations that these 4 beasts are becoming one. Now here's where your prophecy teachers get mixed up. John is supposed to tell you what was, what is, and what is to come in Revelations. So he's talking about, some of the times he's talking to the church about right then. Some of the times he's talking about what's happening in the future, and then he's talking about what's happening in the end times. Because he is the revelator, and he sees this vision. So John sees this one beast. Now, prophecy teachers, they look at the past, and they look at all the empires, and then that's who they tell them that these beasts are. Some of them look in right now. And some of them say, it's these countries. Uh, what I would tell you is my vision that I had. I know for a fact what Revelations 12 and those beasts represent. But I'll give you a little bit of tidbit information. When you look at the past empires, where earlier in the context of Daniel 8, you'll find that there's some context before 8:23, and it talks about all of the reign and the empires. And you don't want to have to read all of this unless you want to, but the bottom line is he's talking about the old Greek Empire and Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great, when he was defeated, that Greek Empire was divided into four different regions or territories. One being Greece, the other one being Babylon, Medo-Persia, and I'm missing one, but I might have it in my notes. But yeah, I'm missing one. Yeah, the three beasts, because the fourth beast represents Satan. So the dragon is not China. The dragon is Satan, although some people think it's a dual meaning. I do not. The red dragon in Revelations is Satan. So I don't see China anywhere in the end times as far as when my Lord comes back at the Battle of Armageddon. So a lot of people in China. So anyway, in the vision of Daniel's time, where they're talking about Belshazzar, and you have to look at the leopard represented Greece. And so a lot of prophecy teachers keep saying, well, the leopard is Greece. And then they say, well, the bear is Medo-Persia. And so Medo-Persia is the bear. And then they say that the lion is Babylon. So if you look at those three areas and the old Greek or the old Greek Empire, what you're looking at, if you take those maps of ancient empires and you duplicate those maps and you put them into modern day, you're going to find one country, that the Antichrist will be connected to. And so the Antichrist will be connected to these Middle Eastern empires: the heart of the Greek Empire, the center of the Ottoman Empire, and the heart of where Medo-Persia and Babylon once ruled. Narrows that down with modern-day maps to the country of Turkey. Remember, the Sixth Trumpet War is World War III. It will kill a third of mankind. And it comes right out of the Euphrates River region: Iraq, Iran, Syria, and Turkey. So if you want my guess on who the Antichrist might be, because everybody's thinking it might be Macron, it might be someone from Turkey. So if I was going to bet $1 on it, then that would be my pick. Now, the Turkish president now he's bringing back Islamic rule. He's trying to be the center of the Islamic world. He's been in war. He's been in conflicts. He's made world alliances. He seems to be a big leader. He's a real player in bringing peace to the Middle East. So you gotta realize that he's going to be really slick. He's going to come in on a platform of peace and prosperity and love and kindness and sweetness and gentleness. And he's going to deceive a whole lot of people, including, as Jesus says in Matthew 24, the elect. So let's try not to be deceived. That's why Feast Me's still living and breathing air, baby. That's why I'm enjoying my night, because it's night night with Phee, and I'm rocking and rolling right here. It's me and ye. So let's enjoy the evening. We're talking about the Antichrist. I don't predict the Antichrist, but I tried to give you the past and the present when it comes to empires plus nations, because I'm telling you that the eagle that's plucked from the lion's wing, the eagle that's plucked from the lion is the United States. The eagle is not seen in John's vision. The lion is Great Britain. The Germany with the four heads, one with a mortal wound that has been healed, is Germany. The First Reich, the Second Reich, the Third Reich, which was the Berlin Wall, and that separated Germany into East Germany and West Germany. And when that Berlin Wall came down, that fatal wound was healed. And now they're in the Fourth Reich, and it's the most powerful one they have, and Germany is a real player in Europe. I can tell you right now that Europe and the United States will be at odds in the future, at the same time that Russia and Ukraine are on the same side with them. What in the world has to happen for this country to have that big a difference alliances in a quick amount of time? So we're not talking 30 or 40 years, folks. We're talking about it's happening every single day. You just don't hear about it because you're doing mainstream media, working like a hamster on a wheel, dealing with the 24-hour news cycle, and they'll keep you full of information that you never remember, while they can change it, twist it, and do whatever they want to with it. But my guess, sir, would be someone from Turkey, based on the old empires and the new empires. Turkey will be a part of the European Union. The Antichrist will definitely come out of Turkey, Syria, or the European Union, which, again, you're going to look at a lot of countries that are going to have alliances. And when you say, well, they're not in Europe or they're in the Middle East, they're all going to have alliances. It's going to be a one world government, one world religion based on this Antichrist. And how they do it, I've got several different game plans to try to make sure they don't deceive us. But how you get the world all in one, besides the United States, Israel, and Jordan, will be the only three countries that do not succumb to the mark of the beast. And you're going to have some parts of the United States that are going to be socialist and communist, and they'll take the mark, and they will cause a lot of civil unrest. Thank you already for the National Guard. Thank you for the first responders, for our police, for our fire. They're going to play a big role in our success and our winning. We will have a loss of life. We will have some problems, but we do win. We are the eagle that carries the woman with the 12 stars out in the wilderness to protect her for times and a half. That's 3.5 years. 42 months. That's 3.5 years. 1,260 days. That's 3.5 years. So quit telling people it's a 7-year tribulation. It's a 3.5-year tribulation. It's a 7-year temporary peace plan, and it will be not over Gaza. So quit telling people that. It's over Judea, Samaria, what is known as the modern-day West Bank. So Billy, or was it, Billy and Worcester, I hope I answered your questions. If you want to put some pieces of puzzles together, if you want to play in that arena or that sandbox, have at it. But my guess would be someone from Turkey. So not Macron, which everybody else thinks, and certainly not Donald Trump. And Elon Musk, I just have to know he's sharp enough. He's got enough of leadership qualities. He's intelligent enough that he's certainly, from an intelligence standpoint, he is I'd say he's a worthy opponent. But I don't believe being where I think he's from and where people have told me he's from. Mark's got me so confused some of these days because I didn't have any idea about a lot of these. I wouldn't even call them conspiracy theories, but that's what other people call them. Of course, I'm in the conspiracy theory business now, and I've never been a conspiracy theorist in my life. I'm a coach. I'm a businessman. I'm a handicapper. I never thought about even thinking about. I thought it was nonsense, Somebody tell me about Bigfoot and weather manipulation. I'd been like, man, let me watch the dadgum Dallas Cowboys play the Philadelphia Eagles. I got the Eagles plus 3.5. So that's what I'd have been doing. And instead of now I'm in the prophecy business and the terminally ill business, I'm a podcaster, I'm a live show guy. I've got a network because Face Me's not scared. And we're just going to keep rocking and rolling and nickel and diming and two-line rhyming until we have done it all. And my Lord says, well done, my good and faithful servant. And that's what I'm looking for. And that's what I'm going to get. So I thank you. And I, again, want you to tell 5 friends. Tell 5 friends. I got to get the law of large numbers. I'm having over 100 average views on every one of our shows that are live. When you put all the platforms together, that's the target, to go from 100 to 1,000, 1,000 to 10,000, 10,000 to 100,000. We got to get to 1 million pretty quick. But on one platform, we're looking at, you look down there and we got 4 views, 8 views, 12 views, 15 views. I mean, so tell the people, I want you to go out. I want you to spread the word. I want to get these views. I want to get out of the algorithm basement, a void that we're in. And Mark said, we're liable to be in this 5 years. And I had a gentleman tell me, I know somebody's been doing this for 3 years, and they still aren't talking to anybody or reaching anybody. And I said, well, I'm not them. See, I don't worry about them and they, and I don't need their validation. My Lord has given me this. It's going to be so successful. I have seen it. There are lots of things in my life that I've already seen. I will remarry. I've seen that. So when people are betting that I'm going to die in the month of July because my stepfather, my father, my mother, and my brother did, I got 2 more days, and then they'll be waiting until next year. And I have to tell you, I have no fear because the Phee's here to stay. He's getting better every day. Told you, I can do it all day long. All right, next question for the Phee bird. All right, here we go. Phee, how many nicknames have you had in your life? I've heard that there are a lot of nicknames. Curious from your hometown. I have had a lot of nicknames, and thank you for that. That's a cool question. I get more nicknames now from the golf course. I got one dude calls me Phildo. I got one guy calls me Physiolus or Syphilis or Pheeolous. And I never liked either one of those. So, but they're steady calling me. I don't mind what folks call me as long as they call me. I like to be rent-free in folks' minds. So that's as long as they're thinking about the Phee bird, then we're doing okay. And whether you like me, whether you don't, that's all right. I have been in several situations where no one likes the Phee, and I tend to do all right in those situations too. Lost my place, so I'm going back here. Like I said, I've got a teleprompter. We're just going to keep on increasing to where I'm reading right here like I'm looking in the cameras and on network news. But right now we just do it the old-fashioned way. We just rock and roll with it. And all right, here is the question of the second question about my nicknames. Well, let's go with some nicknames here. I like to mess with folks when I was younger. Manly Mark hates Phee. But guess what? That's because he can't pronounce it. He doesn't like other people to pronounce it. But there's a lot of Philip Smiths. There ain't but one Phee Smee. So once people get it, Phee Smee, Phee Smee, Phee Smee. I've got a brand. I don't care whether they like it, whether they don't like it, as long as they remember it. So Pheesmee.com is where we're going to end up sending you when we get enough traffic for these platforms to recognize us. But my daddy used to call me Pete. That's one of my favorites. When I was a little bitty boy, I could do a lot of things with my hands well. So I caught the ball real well and I threw the ball real well. But he liked to watch me dribble because my father was a baseball and football player. He didn't play a lot of basketball, and he could embarrass himself real quick trying to dribble the ball or shoot the ball. He'd throw it over the goal or he'd bang the backboard, and he didn't seem to dribble it more like this, like Bob Cousy in the 50s. He really knew a lot about baseball and football and helped me a lot. But he never tried to help me in basketball, but he admired my dribbling skills and that type. So he called me Pete for Pistol Pete Maravich. And my brother was 11 years older than me, so him and my daddy are the only 2 people that ever called me Pete. And now they're both dead, and so I don't expect there to be a lot of other people call me Pete. Smitty was a nickname that I had from my young youth coaches in football and basketball. My father coached me from 7 years old to 12 in baseball. So I did not, he called me Pete or whatever he wanted to. But my other coaches called me Smitty, and and it went all the way through college. Coaches called me Smitty, so I've always liked that too. I had my own was the West Middle sex symbol, nickel and dime or two-line around, main action, main attraction. Women call me satisfaction. Women's pet, men regret, man of the hour, too sweet to be sour. It keeps going, but it gets a little risque, so we'll stop it there. But that was really good at 14, 15. I was pretty good at it. But the black boys called me Butch. They said I looked like a model when I walked in the gym with beautiful hair, and when I started sweating, I looked like a German Shepherd dog that had so they always called me Butch, and that was a German Shepherd dog reference. So I don't think there was a black boy in my hometown that knew my real name. From the time I was in the 8th grade or 7th grade all the way through, Butch. And I never did any social media, but when I did my deep dives into 12 different subjects after I had this vision, I started on social media, and one of the boys I went to school with, first thing he said was, "Butch, what are you doing?" And I thought, yep, he don't even know my name, but he knows Butch. And the black boys in Memphis, down in the hood, in the projects where I used to play ball, they called me White Chocolate. So I had 2 nicknames from black boys, one in Arkansas and one in Tennessee. That one was Butch and one was White Chocolate, and that's because I was the only white boy on the team my senior year. They always heard that. And then there was another white boy that lived in a town close to us. It was a good athlete. He played college baseball, and we hung out some. And if we went over there and played, if you know the projects I'm talking about, if you've ever seen the Blind Side movie, then that's the exact projects. They shot that right there where I used to play ball, down there with those boys. Cat Daddy, they would call me. Phee Smee, Dr. Phil. That's probably the best. But the ones I like best is Pete because of my daddy and my brother, Smitty because of my coaches, and Phee Smee because that's just me. I am the Phee Smee, the one and only, and I can't wait to be Grandpappy Phee. And I don't care if they just call me Pappy Phee, and if it gets shortened to Phee or Pappy, that'll be fine with me. I just want some babies around me. And I'm gonna try my best to rascal around with these folks. I told my kids, that exposure's the key there, and so hopefully they're getting that done. We need practice makes perfect, and they ought to get after that. As beautiful wives as they've gotten, beautiful as my daughters are, we shouldn't have any problem with that situation. But Grandpappy Phee can't wait, but that's my nicknames. And thank you for the question. I think that's kind of funny. I don't know if I know you or not, or if you're young, or I know your parents or anything else. But anyway, thank you so much for the question. And next question, Mr. Smee, what are your thoughts on chemotherapy and radiation treatments for cancer? Braley in Madison, Wisconsin. Braley, I don't like chemotherapy. It's poison. It kills all the healthy cells as well as the cancer cells. I'm not a believer in radiation. I think they'll tell you it's safe, but they tell you microwaves and cell phones and all kinds of MRI machines. And what you'll find is they have an energy, a magnetic field. You have frequencies. You have so many things that people can't see. And if you can't see it or taste it or touch it or feel it, then it seems not to bother them. But you have to take radiation now or chemotherapy now if you don't have any other treatments that are available to you. They should have been they're outdated 10 years. The delivery methods that if they don't have them, I do, and I'm going to try to get it done. But I'm telling you, there are people out there. They roll them out when it's advantageous for them to roll it out. So I don't think your chemotherapy and your radiation treatments will be mainstream here in the future. I think you'll find that 5 or 10 years from now they'll tell you high levels of radiation doesn't reduce cancer cells. It actually expands them and spreads them at a more rapid pace. And that's some cancers, not all cancers. So when everybody said, well, Phee, can you cure cancer? And I said, yeah, I can cure cancer. A lot of other people cure cancer too. It depends on the cancer. It depends on how advanced it is. It depends on where it is. What kind it is. That's a very broad statement. So you're not going to cure all cancers. You're certainly not going to cure all cancers with radiation or chemotherapy, or you wouldn't have 80% of them dying because it doesn't work or it's not effective in some cases. So chemotherapy is that's the worst. But if you don't have any choice and you're right here, here's what they tell you. Well, you're going to have 6 weeks of chemo. Well, you're going to take 3 series of chemo. Well, we're not going to be able to do the chemo. We'll do the radiation. And then they'll come back and they'll say to you, well, the radiation's not working. Or the chemo, making you too sick, and death by treatments, just like death by disease. They market well, and they know how to make money. So you're going to have to learn. If you're in a bad situation, you can't take their directives as that's the only thing you can do. Always try to take some time. People make decisions in a hurry. They normally make bad ones. If you make decisions on bad information, you make bad ones. That is a pet peeve of Phee. I do not like to make decisions based on bad information. I just don't know if I've ever come out on the right side when that happens. It bothers me because then it makes me think that I overlooked something. And in most cases, it's deception. Things have changed, and there's certain interpretations of the law. It's like these fragrance companies. They copyright every single word in the English language or dictionary, and they don't plan on using 1% of them, but they just don't want anybody else to have them. And again, that's completely ridiculous. But chemotherapy and radiation, to me, you're going to find that there's so many better ways. There's nanobots, there's frequencies, there's magnets. I would freeze dry the cancer and then take it, remove it, replace it with exomes, and then put in the stem cells behind it. The exomes will give you the soil that you need as far as new growth, and then the stem cells can come right in behind it. And so the nanobots are amazing. They're so small. Remember, like I told someone, I think it was Mark yesterday, these drones, everybody thinks they're going to be the size of school buses that worry me. The drones that worry me are the flies, the bees, the grasshoppers, the dadgum birds that look like a blackbird. Those are the type of that can spray pestilence on your soils, on your crops. Those are things that can get in your home, and they can be. Trust me, they can operate one of those drones in Saudi Arabia that is a fly in my house. So everybody's looking to be big and worried about these drones in the Northeast. Well, I'm telling you, you got real problems with these drones in the future. That's warfare in the future, and they're not going to all be the size of school buses. Some of them, they're going to be tiny insects that can kill. So that gives you something else to lay your head at night and think, well, Phee's really helped me get some sleep tonight. But don't worry about it. You'll be okay. If you're a child of God, we're going to go through some persecution, but we're also going to inherit the kingdom of God. So, and if you're in the United States of America, it's the best place in the world to be, and one of the worst. Best place because we're not going to have to take the mark of the beast, and although we're going to be involved in World War III and have casualties in some part of our country that's going to be under a different type of rule, or at least some opposition. Those are all great things for the United States. The bad thing is we're just consumers. We just go down and buy it. Go down and buy your food. Go down and get your water. If you want to, go get your gas. Use your debit card. And if they interrupt your grid and electricity, or they interrupt your food supply, or they interrupt your banking, those three things will cause chaos. And you've got 15 million homeless people that will take advantage of that. You've got paid protesters from these socialist, communist folks out of our country that are trying to infiltrate. Remember, they're going to try to take the United States and unravel it from the inside out with our children. And so that's what they're teaching in our universities and have been for 30 years. They play the they play the long game, and you've got to be prepared. I'm here where deception will not be prevalent if you're watching the Feast Me Network. So thank you for that question. I appreciate it. And that's Brayley from Madison, Wisconsin. Next question here. Sir, you say 5 trumpets have sounded and the 6th trumpet is World War III. What are the 5 trumpets that have passed, and why do you think World War III is the 6th trumpet war? Thank you, Meredith in Horn Lake, Mississippi. That's a great question, Meredith. I will answer the 5 trumpets first. And when my Lord showed me my vision, and I wanted to have an understanding, and I told people at my mother's funeral that they're playing checkers when it comes to Revelation, and I was playing chess. And now I would tell them that they're playing checkers and I'm playing 3-dimensional chess on 7 different boards. So I am very aware of what my Lord showed me. I have connected it to the Bible, and I am living proof that my Lord has a purpose and a plan. And I was chosen for this, and it is my greatest honor to do it. So the 5 trumpets. World War I is the first trumpet, and where you had over 6 million people that died. The second trumpet was World War II, where you had over 55 million people die. Remember in World War I, they tried to start the League of Nations. Why? They wouldn't have any more world wars. And the United States did not participate, and that went away. In World War II, they started the United Nations, and the United States did participate with a globalist as the president. And on the back of your dollar bill, it will say New World Order. So they've been planning this a long time. They didn't have the ability to do it until you came up with the wireless communications, the AI, the digital currency. So there's all types of things now that they're able to do that they weren't able to do even 20 years ago. So this is the first time in history of any generation that the Antichrist could come back. Remember, Jesus says in the end of times that love will grow cold because of lawlessness, but knowledge will increase. And that's your AI, folks. So you're 3 generations behind now. You're 30 years behind of all the technology that I saw in labs when I was 14, when 19, and when I took my brother in. The last one I've been in was 23 or 24 years old. So you're always, they could read whether a quarter on the 50-yard line at the Super Bowl was heads or tails from space in 1975. So if you think that they're showing you deep fakes now, they're showing you deep fakes now to prove to you and show you and make you believe that you can tell the difference in them with pixels and different segments. What you're going to find is they've got your fingerprints, they've got your eyes, they've got your blood, they've got your DNA, they've got all your voice, they've got your pictures, they got everything. So they can put you in any situation they want to, anytime they want to. And by the way, if you die, they can your mom and dad just buy another one of you with an AI companion. Look just like you, speak just like you, have your same brain thoughts, and that's coming. And I told my kids 3 years ago that was coming. They looked at me like I was crazy. Now you can buy them for $175,000 on Amazon. And every other thing, this AI companions they got the honey is one of them's name. Of course, I love honey. I be dripping with honey when it comes to honey. Has got the properties of the best properties in the world. I mean, I love honey. It's the health benefits. You should never use sugar. Always use honey. And I'm drinking green tea right now with honey and half. Been on a green tea kick lately. I normally drink coffee with honey and half and a lot of water. But I had my first Sprite last night in probably a year. Why? I buy Cokes and Sprites for other people that work here and come to see me here, and I don't drink any of them. Well, last night I didn't have anything else to drink, so there was a Sprite in there. So I took a couple of drinks. And I'm telling you what, those Sprites and Cokes that I used to drink 10 or 12 of them a day, Mountain Dews, they're so dadgum sweet. I mean, the Sprite, I take maybe 3 drinks of it and went, wow. I mean, wow. I mean, I used to drink, you don't have any idea how many Mountain Dews and Cokes and Dr. Peppers and Sprites. I probably drank less Sprites than any of them, more Mountain Dew than any of them, but the Coke. My daddy, remember, was a Coke. We're a Coke family. But World War I was your first trumpet. World War II was your second trumpet, and they started the United Nations. Now, the third trumpet bothered me. I remember telling my son back in November of 2023. No, it was 2022. No, it was 2023. I remember telling him, and maybe it was early November 2023, I'm just not as smart as I used to be. I could not figure out the third trumpet, but I finally did. If you go back and you look, the word wormwood translates into Chernobyl, and the Chernobyl nuclear, I guess you would say, a crisis. That was your third trumpet, because it's very specifically says the wormwood. And so once I got that, then you had to go to the fourth trumpet. And so the fourth trumpet is an interesting deal, because a lot of people, a lot of prophecy teachers think that the fourth trumpet is the speeding up of time. And you remember, my Lord says 1,260 days, 42 months, times and a half. He's not going to take away, he's not going to tell you it's 1,260 days and it'd be 1,182. So the way he's going to do that is he's going to take a third of the sun, a third of the moon of the day. It's going to be shortened. It's going to be the same number of days, but when the sun comes up and goes down, then the days are going to be shortened. Well, this month, you had the second shortest day in recorded history. The problem I have with that is it was like 1.32 milliseconds shorter than the other ones. So that almost is as good as a twinkling of an eye. Remember, my Lord's going to come back in a twinkling of an eye. A twinkling of an eye is not a blink. A twinkling of an eye is the speed of light from the retina to the iris. That's how quickly he's going to transform you, 1 in 1/1,000,000th of a second. So the shortening of time really had a lot of people thinking the fourth trumpet was that. But the key is that Berlin Wall. When that Berlin Wall came down, there was your fourth trumpet, and that's probably is. I remember it happening. I don't know if it was like 89 or 85 or something, but I remember it happening. But I didn't think that big a deal of it. Just didn't pay it much attention. But in the last 2 years, really, I've really studied that Berlin Wall and that East and West Berlin and East and West Germany coming back together, gathering that Fourth Reich. Very important biblically. So that is definitely the fourth trumpet. And the fifth trumpet is Saddam Hussein in the Gulf War. He set the oil fields on fire, and you could not see the sun or the moon for 3 days. So that fulfilled that from the fifth trumpet. The sixth trumpet is when my archangel Michael defeats Satan in heaven for the last time. The folks in heaven celebrate, but woe is to the inhabitants of the earth, as there's 2 angels that will be released from the Euphrates River that will kill 1/3 of mankind. So that is your World War III. I have seen it. It was in my vision, and I remember telling my son the next day, you just can't imagine. I was surrounded by death and just walked right through it. Just unbelievable. And I will tell you from start to finish on that vision, as we come up closer and closer and build a big viewership and network. So we're going to continue to give pieces and bits and do a real broad scope, and then we're going to come back and do some real specific micro types of analysis on my vision. So I'm thankful for the vision. I'm thankful for my Lord. I'm thankful that I'm alive. It's a blessing for me to be here. 3 years ago, and 3 years and a couple of months now. Time just keeps on flying. Remember, I was 57 years old and supposed to be dead, and I'm fixing to turn 61 in September. So life is good, and we're rocking and rolling here at the Phee Network. I can't seem to get my night back. There it is. I had it way too up. But yeah, those are the five trumpets. It's World War I, World War II, Chernobyl 3, the Berlin Wall 4, and Saddam Hussein in the Gulf War as far as the oil wells. The sixth one is World War III, and I have seen it with 1/3 of mankind. You're talking about right at 2.6 billion people dying. That will, like I told them, I believe World War III is coming first. And I tell my children it's painful joy. I'm so happy and so joyful that I am alive and doing God's work, and I have a purpose and a goal and a mission, but I know what's coming, and it's very painful. So it's painful joy. I don't know what day you're going to wake up and it be different, but I'm going to be right here, and anytime there's any type of breaking news, then you stay with the Feast Me Network, and we'll get all the latest updates and everything. Remember, stay with us tomorrow morning at the Feast Me Show with Manly Mark at 9 a.m. and then again at noon with Midday Madness with Manly Mark. And I'll be back again tomorrow night with Night Night with Phee. As we close tonight on the psychology of Pheeology, I thank you for all the questions. And I would like to tell you that I have the ability to make 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 = 1. And I'm going to do that with these medical procedures. And I'm going to be able to help with this prophecy and with my vision and be able to see and be able to help and coach. I'm coaching the winning team. I love to win. Winning is a culture. Losing is a culture. And if you get used to losing, then it doesn't bother you. And if it doesn't bother you, then you're not a winner. It has to bother you to lose. And you cannot lose with my Lord Jesus Christ. If you accept Him, and you're a part of children of God's family, you will inherit the kingdom of God. And this life is temporal, but your everlasting, eternal life is what matters. And you can make that decision today. My Lord's not coming back today. There's several prophecies that have to be fulfilled, including the sixth trumpet, including the building of the third temple, including the red heifer ceremonies, and so many more that are happening on almost daily. The 7-year temporary peace plan that will be in Judea, Samaria, that will allow Jewish settlers to stay in that territory, that will have a shared temple mount on that, so the Muslims will go to the mosque and the Jews will go to the synagogue, or the temple. So those are things that are going to happen. And when that Antichrist stands in that temple, rebuilt temple, and declares himself as God, that is what they call the abomination of desolation. And my Lord Jesus Christ in Matthew 24 says, immediately after, I hope you denominations and you church folks are listening, go to Matthew 24, immediately after the desolation. That's when it happens. So remember that. I do appreciate your time tonight. Coaching Pheeology is something that I love. I love life skills. I love relationship skills. I love business deals. And I'm fixing to have a whole lot of them, ladies and gentlemen. I'm fixing to be out and about, rocking and rolling. And last, we're fixing to go live starting next Friday, a week from this coming Friday, at my practices once a week. My students are aware. Their parents are aware. We will have a live feed. We will show the drills. I've had a bunch of questions on those. Yes, I will have to put them off in a PDF, and we will try to generate some revenue from them. But thank you guys for spending a Tuesday night with Phee, and God bless you. Remember, no matter what you're doing, you're missing something. So let's make what we're missing worth what we're doing. Night, night.